By choosing a product from Tapco International, you have the dependability of the recognized world leader in the building industry. At Tapco International, we've manufactured superior building products and tools for over 34 years. And all of our products are easy to use and engineered for long-lasting durability. Tapco's Pro 3 and Maximum Porta Benders are the premier portable benders for bending virtually any type of material. Today, we're going to show you how to assemble your new bender and discuss adjusting your bender, care and maintenance, time-saving tips, and finally, we'll show you how to make custom bends to increase your profitability. So let's get started. To begin, let's take a look at how easy it is to assemble your bender. For assembly, you'll need a few tools: a Phillips screwdriver, a 7/16 wrench, a 9/16 wrench, a tape measure, a hacksaw, and a pair of snips. Assembly for the Tapco Pro 3 and the Maximum Porta Bender are virtually the same, except the Maximum was designed for heavier material. Remember to use your instruction manual along with this video to help you assemble your bender properly. If you have the folding leg kit, which is an option with the Pro 3, you'll want to install these first. To add folding legs to either the Pro 3 or the Maximum, first attach the leg mounting plate to each of the legs using the 8/32 by 3/8 inch screws provided. Then, attach the legs to the bender using the sheet metal screws and U-clamp provided. Make sure the slots in the leg plate are attached to the back rail. With the Maximum Porta Bender, you'll now want to add the leg stabilizer kit. To put on the leg stabilizers, first, lift the bender and place it into the slots. Lock with clips. The next step is to install the hemming handle. The Maximum Porta Bender has two hemming handles. First, install the handle plugs onto the top of the locking handle using the 3/8 inch hex bolts provided. Tighten the hex bolts by hand only at this point. Next, attach the hemming handle over the handle plugs and secure them with fast pins. Now, tighten the 3/8 inch hex bolts with a 9/16 inch wrench. To remove the hemming handle, simply remove the fast pins. Next, it's time to install the lifting handles. The Pro 3 has 2 lifting handles, while the Maximum has 4 lifting handles. First, remove the combination lifting carrying handles from each end of the bender by removing the fast pins. Then, insert one end of the handle plug into the lifting carrying handle and insert the fast pin through the holes. After that, insert the handle assembly into the hole on the bottom of the moving hinge. Align the hole in the hinge with the handle plug and insert the screw using the hex T-wrench provided. Secure the handle assembly with a 1/4 20 lock nut using a 7/16 wrench. Use the same method to install the lifting handles. After putting on the lifting handles, it's time to install the hinge clip. The hinge clip keeps the moving hinge in position to make it easy to line up material. To install the hinge clip, locate the pre-drilled hole on the bottom of the moving hinge. Then, align the holes in the clip and the hinge and insert the Phillips head screw provided. After you've installed the hinge clip, trim the vinyl strip at the ends of the bender. Then, open the bender and remove the packing slips. Finally, take a shop towel and run it across the length of the bender to clean off any packing debris. Assembling your bender is just that easy. To add the optional wheel kit to the Pro 3, measure 2.5 inches from the bottom of one set of legs. Then cut off the bottom of only one set of legs using a hacksaw. Then install the wheel assembly onto the legs and tighten the set screws. Two more options you can add to either the Pro 3 or the Maximum Portabender to make your job easier are the Tapco bending gauges and Tapco support tables. Tapco bending gauges fit on the ends of your bender and give you an accurate degree of bend. They have built-in degree stops and a breakaway feature so you don't damage your bender or gauge. And when you aren't using them, they rotate out of the way. Tapco's support tables give you a support surface for cutting and laying out your pieces of material. They slide out to accommodate most widths of material, and they're self-storing when you need to move them out of the way to bend material. Both the bending gauges and support tables install quickly and easily to help save you time and make your job easier. Now that your bender is assembled, we're going to show you how to adjust your bender. The pivot links on your bender have been preset for average holding capacity and ease of operation. However, you may desire a tighter or looser feel to the locking tension, depending on the thickness of the material you're bending. Also, your bender may need periodic adjustment due to extreme weather fluctuations or working conditions. That's why it's important to know how to adjust your bender. It's also important to follow the procedures for adjustment accurately to ensure proper gripping tension and maximum performance. It will also help eliminate over and underbending. First, you want to check the uniformity of the clamping pressure along the entire length of the bender. Uniform clamping pressure is very important to ensure straight, accurate bends. To test this, cut a narrow strip of the material you'll be working with. First, lock the strip under each shoe casting. Once the strip is locked, lightly pull the material to determine the tightness and uniformity of each pivot link. If the material can be pulled out when the bender handle is locked, or if it requires excessive pressure to lock the handle down on the material, then the pivot links may need adjustment. To make any adjustments, put the bender in the open or unlocked position. Then insert a 3/16" hex wrench into the pivot link stud through the access hole in the upper link. You may have to move the pivot link slightly to line up the holes. It is important to make sure the holes are aligned, or else the hex wrench will not be able to fit into the access hole properly. Turn 1/2 turn counterclockwise to increase the locking tension, or turn 1/2 turn clockwise to decrease the locking tension. The best method for ensuring uniform tension all the way along your bender is to take one strip of the material you'll be working with and lock it under each casting. Loosen each casting until you can pull the strip out. Then, go back and tighten each link to the same tension. If you can't pull the material straight out, but you can move it from side to side, then you know your pivot link is set to the proper tension. You can also increase or decrease the locking tension by using a 5/8" open wrench directly on the pivot link stud. Use the wrench to turn the stud clockwise to decrease tension or counterclockwise to increase tension. Either method will work to adjust your bender. Now, let's discuss the care and maintenance of your portable bender. All Tapco benders are virtually maintenance-free, providing years of reliable and trouble-free performance. However, there are a few basic things necessary to keep your bender like new. Make sure to clean the clamping surfaces each day before using your bender, and brush away any cuttings or dirt that may accumulate. And Be sure to use only clean shop towels that are free of dirt, oil, or metal chips. Transport your bender in the unlocked or open position so you don't damage the clamping surfaces. You may transport it in the locked position if you clamp a piece of vinyl siding between the clamping surfaces. If your material is getting scratched, examine the stainless bending edge, base hinge, and moving hinge for roughness or burrs. Remove burrs with a fine flat file and check for excessively worn parts every 40 hours of use. Also, use lightweight spray oil along the hinge every 40 hours of use to keep your bender in top working condition and ensure free movement of the hinge. If you keep these few maintenance tips in mind, your bender will provide years of long-lasting service. Now, let's take a look at how easy your new bender is to use and how you can increase your profitability by learning some of the more common bends in the building industry. First, let's take a look at the basic positions for most common angles you'll be bending. Common angles you'll use in your bends include 22.5 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 110 degrees, 150 degrees, and 170 degrees. Tapco's optional angle gauges are the perfect way to help you make accurate, consecutive bends quickly and easily. Now that you've learned the most common angles, it's time to learn the basic hem and fold. To do a basic 180-degree bend and complete the hem, first, insert the material you wish to hem into your bender. Then, close and lock the bender on the material. Bend up as far as you can go, using the lifting handles. Then, remove the material from the bender. Position the bent edge of the material in the hemming pocket on top of the locking anvil. Next, pull out the hinge to create a pocket. Finally, lift the bending handles and flatten the bend to complete the hem. Now that you've learned the technique for making the basic hem, we're going to show you how to make some of the more common bends you'll use on the job site. First, let's go through a few general terms we'll need to understand when we go through the bending. When we talk about finish side up, this indicates that the finished or exposed side of the material is to be put into the bender facing up. Likewise, finish side down indicates that the finished or exposed side of the material is to be put into the bender facing down. Most of the shapes we will be making are also illustrated in the manual included with your bender. So remember to take your manual with you when you work, in case you need a quick reminder while on the job site. The roof or drip edge is the shape that is basic to all the other shapes we'll be showing you how to make. Once you've learned this shape and know how to do it well, you'll be ready to move on and make more complex shapes. To begin, cut off a piece of material 4 3/4 inches wide by 1 foot long. Mark your material width with a pencil at 2, 2 3/4, and 4 1/4 inches on both ends. Then snip these marks in about 1/4 inch so they'll be visible on both sides of the material. Next, put your material into the bender with the finished side up. You'll want to make the first bend at the 2 3/4 inch mark. So lock the bender on this mark and then bend 90 degrees. After that, remove the material from the bender. The second bend will be at the 2-inch mark. So put the material into the bender finished side down and lock the bender on the 2-inch mark. Bend the material 180 degrees and then hem it in the bender as we showed you earlier. For the third and final bend, put the material back into the bender finished side up and lock on the 4 1/4 inch mark. Then bend the piece 45 degrees. You've now completed the basic shape. Once you've practiced it until you can make it proficiently, you will then be ready to make more complex shapes. The procedures for making all the shapes are similar to the basic shape. Now, we're going to show you some important techniques that will help you make accurate bends quickly and easily. To determine the number and length of trim pieces needed, measure the total length of the particular trim area to be covered and divide by the length of your bender. Determine the dimensions of each section of the desired trim shape by measuring the particular profile to be covered. It is best to make a template out of a 1 to 2 inch wide piece of material by the length of the piece you need to make to get your exact shape. To make a template, you'll need a hand bender, ruler, and pencil. First, take your material and mark the facing width. Then, mark the facing depth. Using your hand bender, bend the measured dimensions and then check the width and depth using your template. Once you've determined the dimensions of each section, flatten out your template and transfer the dimensions to your material. Mark the dimensions on each end of the material by making a 1/4 inch slit in the metal with a pair of shears. These marks now become the bending points, and they're visible from either side. On longer lengths, fold the material over and snip both ends at once. This will save time and ensure greater accuracy. When your trim has 3 or more bends, start with the middle bend to avoid being trapped. Learning to make custom bends can increase your profitability and give your work a professional finished look. For example, let's take a look at a window or door casing. It costs you about the same amount to make a window or door casing and cover the wood using the bender as it does to just put up J-channel next to the window. By making the piece yourself with your bender, you give your customer a more finished look, protect his wood, and give him maintenance-free trim to go along with his maintenance-free siding. And customers are usually willing to spend a little more to have a better product that will save them money in the long run. So, if you're ready to learn some of the more common shapes, let's take a look. In the following examples, we haven't included the dimensions, since they will vary from job to job. The first shape we'll show you how to make is the F-channel. The F-channel is used to fit the soffit into the siding. To make the F-channel, insert your material finish side down, and first make a 160-degree bend. Then complete the hem, making a 180-degree bend. Then finish side down, make a 90-degree bend. Next, finish side down, make another 90-degree bend. Turning the material over, finish side up, make a 160-degree bend. Then take the material out of the bender and finish the hem, 180 degrees. Finally, insert the material finish side up and make a 90-degree bend. You now have a finished piece of F-channel. The next shape we're going to show you how to make is the soffit miter. The soffit miter is used to change the direction of a soffit in an overhang. First, insert the material finish side down and make a 160-degree bend. Then, complete the hem, 180 degrees. Next, insert the material finish side up and make a 90-degree bend. Then, finish side down, make a 160-degree bend. And complete the hem, 180 degrees. Then, insert the material finish side up and make a 90-degree bend. Finish side down, make a 160-degree bend. And then complete the hem, 180 degrees. You now have a soffit miter. Now, we're going to make windowsill trim. To start, insert the material finish side down and make a 90-degree bend. Then, finish side up, make a 160-degree bend, and complete the hem bend 180 degrees. Then, finish side down, make a 90-degree bend. Next, pull out the material 2 inches and finish side down, make another 90-degree bend. That completes the windowsill trim. Another very useful shape is the window or door casing with built-in J-channel. As the name implies, it can be used around windows or doors, and it covers the wood to protect it from weather damage and deterioration. To make the window or door casing, first, insert the material finish side up and make a 90-degree bend. Next, put the material in finish side down and make a 160-degree bend. Then, complete the hem bend 180 degrees. Next, finish side up, make a 90-degree bend. Finish side down, make another 90-degree bend. And finally, finish side up, make one more 90-degree bend. You now have a window or door casing with a built-in J-channel. Now, we'll show you how to make a rake trim with built-in J-channel. To make your rake trim, insert your material finish side up and make a 90-degree bend. Then, finish side down, make a 160-degree bend. And then complete the hem bend 180 degrees. Next, finish side up, make a 90-degree bend. Finish side up, make a 45-degree bend. Finish side down, make another 45-degree bend. And finally, finish side down, make a 90-degree bend. This completes your rake trim with built-in J-channel. Now, we're going to show you how to make a perforated overhang. To make the perforated overhang, first insert the material finish side down and make a 160-degree bend. Then, complete the hem bend 180 degrees. Next, insert the material finish side up and make a 90-degree bend. Then, finish side down, make another 90-degree bend. You now have a perforated overhang. For our last shape, we're going to show you how to make an S-cleat. The S-cleat enables you to put 2 pieces of metal together without nailing and create an invisible nailless seam. To make an S-cleat, insert the material finish side down and make a hem bend 160 degrees and finish the hem. Then, finish side up, make a hem bend 160 degrees and finish the hem. Mastering these common shapes using your bender will help you offer more to your customers and increase your profitability. Now that you've seen how to make some of the more useful shapes, we're going to show you how to make a 45-degree angle miter for a window or door casing. To start, begin with the sill. You need to make a return corner on your windowsill complete with tabs to help prevent water from getting behind your trim. First, measure from the end back approximately 1 inch and mark it. Cut number 1 will be cutting at this mark. For cut number 2, cut the top of the sill at a 45-degree angle and trim the tab back approximately 3/4 of an inch. This completes the top tab. Next, take a utility knife and score the bottom of the sill so you can cut back the tab. Cut number 3 will be cutting back on the bottom at a 45-degree angle and trimming back approximately 3/4 of an inch. This will complete the bottom tab. Cut number 4 will be to cut a slot in the undersill siding receiver. Then, turn back the return tabs using your utility knife. After turning back the tabs, measure and then notch the top of the sill. so it will fit around the wood casing. Finally, fold back the return corner tab to close off the end. Now, you're ready to install the sill. After installing the sill, you'll want to prepare the bottom of the window casing to meet the sill with a built-in siding receiver. To do this, start by measuring from the bottom of the window casing up toward the top to determine the height of the sill. Cut number 1 for the bottom piece will be cutting the return leg and then cutting up along the receiving pocket. Next, you'll need to trim across the face of the window casing. Check to see that it fits to the window, and then measure it from the top of the sill to the bottom of the sill. Using these marks, cut it so it sits flush with the bottom of the sill. This will be cut number 2. Next, make a notch in the bottom of the window casing trim, so the side piece will be able to fit into the sill without obstruction. When this is completed, your siding will fit easily into the built-in receiver. Once you finish the bottom of your window casing, you'll want to begin your miter. First, you'll want to start with your side piece. Using the top piece as a guide, mark the side piece for the proper height. This will be cut number 1. Next, cut from the top down to cut number 1 to make the notch. This will be cut number 2. Cut number 3 will be to cut a notch in the receiving channel by snipping both ends and then trimming it at an angle. Then fold the weather tab toward the pocket side. We'll use it later to fold back over for added protection from the weather. Now, test the side piece to make sure it fits properly. Both side pieces will be completed using the same method. Once the side pieces are complete, you'll move on to the top piece. Using a side piece you just completed, take the top piece and measure it for the proper dimension. Mark the top piece and leave a ½ inch on the side away from you, so you'll have enough material on your weather tab to cover the gap. Cut number 1 will be to cut off the return leg. For cut number 2, cut back the receiving pocket approximately 3/4 of an inch and trim the weather tab, bending it back into the pocket. Then, using a utility knife, open up the hem bends to receive the side rail. Test it to make sure it fits properly. Then, using a speed square, mark a 45-degree line and then cut it on the line. This will be cut number 3. Do a final trim on the face of the 45-degree miter, and then fit and bend the weather tab down. Remember that the proper sequence for creating the window casing is to make the sill first, then make the 2 side pieces, and then finish with the top piece. You've now seen how to create a 45-degree angle miter, which will work on either a window or a door casing. Now that you know how to use your bender, we have a few more tips that will help you save time on the job site. A 1-inch lap joint is enough to allow for expansion and contraction. Also, make sure the trim is lapped so that the laps are facing away from traffic areas. Another tip to make your trim look better is to try and nail the trim parts on a shadow line to make the fasteners less conspicuous. And when face nailing, use just enough nails to secure the trim. Another nailing tip is to use a punch-awl to pre-drill holes instead of nailing them straight in. This will make a clean hole and allow for slight movement to prevent rippling. When designing shapes to hang over the wood parts, allow for irregularities in the wood trim. Remember that you're hanging a cover over the wood, not laminating a skin-tight surface. When using any caulking, use only enough to seal openings. Hemming will give your shape a factory edge look and will stiffen the entire trim piece, also helping to eliminate rippling. In addition to the Pro 3 and the Maximum Portabenders, Tapco also makes a host of other building products and tools that can save you tons of time on the job site and make your job easier and more profitable, including the Porta Slitter for ribbing, slitting, and perforating metal and vinyl for soffits and ventilation. The Porta Slitter can slit down 50-foot material into 3 8-inch strips in less than 2 minutes. It can also rib panels to add strength and give you a more decorative look, as well as reducing rippling. The slitter is available with the slitter cutoff and is available in 2, 3, 4, or 5-foot lengths. The lightweight, portable, easy-angle saw table and workstation. Perfect for a variety of job site applications. The Easy Angle has a 16-inch tabletop that enables you to cut 75 degrees up to 10 inches wide and 72 degrees up to 12 inches wide. Its patent-pending design allows you to always cut through the center without having to move or set any backstops. This Easy Angle is easy to assemble and maneuver around the job site and is the perfect workstation for the siding mechanic, carpenter, deck builder, or handyman. The Pro Coiler that helps save time and eliminate waste. The Pro Coiler makes it easy to cut down material and enables you to only use what you need. It fits easily on the end of your bender, and it has plastic coil guards to protect your material from marring or scratching. With the Pro Coiler, you can roll out your material and cut it squarely to your exact length. And the revolutionary Pro and Maximum cutoffs for making factory quality cuts in steel and vinyl. The Pro cutoff is designed to be used on all material that can be bent in the Pro 3, while the Max cutoff is designed to be used on all material that can be bent in the Maximum Portabender. The Pro and Max cutoff make it easy to cut down material quickly, precisely, and accurately. Plus, it stores easily. Tapco is the world leader in the manufacturing of precision products and tools for the building industry. And once you've used a Tapco product on the job site, you'll see why serious industry professionals wouldn't use anything else. If you're looking for quality, dependability, and greater profitability on your jobs, look to Tapco International. We build tools that serious professionals count on. And coming soon, look for Tapco's all-new Sidewinder for use with Maximum and Pro 3 Portabenders. Here's a quick demonstration.